The chamber floated in eternal night, a crystalline fortress orbiting a dead star that pulsed faint blue across the vaulted walls. The Galactic Council had gathered, their delegates fanned out in tiered circles, each seat a throne of ancient dominion. Power radiated from every corner, scaled hides, feathered crests, armored carapaces. All the species who claimed stewardship over the galaxy sat united in certainty of one outcome: humanity's defeat. At the center, High Chancellor Varix rose from his obsidian dais. His form was towering, predator-born, with eyes like molten iron and claws that tapped the platform as if marking time until Earth's last breath. The chamber quieted at his presence. "Let the record show," Varix began, his voice low thunder rolling through the crystalline acoustics, "that this council has predicted the collapse of the Terran species within hours of open conflict. Their fleets are brittle, their weapons outdated, their culture undisciplined. In war, ours are a lifetime, and their lifetime ends when our armadas descend." The declaration rippled outward, amplified by the chamber's resonance fields, so that each delegate felt it in their bones. Murmurs of agreement followed. The Zyresh matron, draped in silver chitin, clicked her mandibles with a sound like laughter. "Humans are reckless animals. They consume, fight, and flail until they burn themselves out. A species without patience cannot endure against the discipline of the Council." Another voice joined, deep and guttural, the Grath Overlord. "I've seen their battle records. They improvise, yes, but improvisation is chaos. Against precision fleets, chaos folds into dust." Laughter swelled. Words like primitive, impulsive, and naive echoed. No dissent rose. Then a new voice cut through, soft but amplified by the chamber's systems. A human face shimmered into view above the central platform, projected as light and sound. Admiral Cain stood with hands clasped behind his back, his dark uniform plain compared to the ornate robes and armor around him. His posture carried no fear. "You convene here as judges of inevitability," Cain said, his tone controlled, stripped of ornament. "You speak of ours. You mock discipline, strategy, willpower, as if they were trinkets. Yet you misunderstand the species you condemn." The chamber bristled. The Tharkol Chancellor leaned forward, lips curling into a sneer. "And what would you teach us, primitive? That your kind will gnash teeth and throw fire until we are impressed? You mistake savagery for strength." Cain's eyes did not flicker. "You assume our silence is weakness, that because we have not shown our full hand, there is no hand to play. That is your mistake. Humanity prepares in shadows. When the light comes, you will see." The room erupted, mocking hisses, growls, metallic laughter. Some delegates gestured to cut the feed, as though entertaining a child's defiance had already gone too far. Cain gave them nothing more. His projection blinked out. The humans had been heard and dismissed. On the flagship Aegis, Cain returned to the command deck. Saturn loomed beyond the view panels, its rings slicing the dark like a blade of gold. Around the gas giant, humanity's fleet floated in disciplined formation, smaller than the alien armadas, yet perfectly arrayed. Each ship bore the quiet tension of a soldier awaiting the storm. Commander Reeves, Cain's second, approached with a data slate clutched tight. His voice carried unease. "The Council's broadcasts are spreading system-wide. Billions across alien sectors are watching, expecting us to break before their fleets arrive. Morale is strained." "Let them expect," Cain replied, stepping closer to the viewport. His reflection gazed back, framed by Saturn's glow. "Their expectation blinds them. That blindness is our shield." Reeves hesitated. "But the numbers, sir. Their fleets dwarf ours 100 to 1. Even with our enhancements, can we endure?" Cain turned, his expression steady. "Numbers are illusions. Wars are decided by who sees first, who moves first, who adapts first. Tell me, Reeves, when has humanity ever surrendered before the count was finished?" Reeves exhaled slowly, tension easing if only slightly. Beyond the flagship, shadows rippled. Entire battle groups flickered, then vanished from sight, swallowed by cloaked drives. The void held them like whispers waiting to be spoken. Only faint distortions betrayed their presence, fleeting as heat mirages. Dr. Anika Sorrell, chief strategist, entered the command deck, her face pale under the console glow. Simulations are complete. Probability models confirm what we suspected. If we reveal nothing until the critical window, alien losses escalate exponentially. Their own confidence will accelerate their collapse. Cain nodded. They gave us hours. We'll give them minutes. The deck quieted at his words. Officers exchanged glances, not of disbelief but of hardened resolve. Humanity had endured famine, wars, plagues, and still found ways to rise. They were born in chaos, tempered by survival. What the aliens called recklessness was, to humans, adaptation. What the Council named weakness was a hidden edge. Cain's gaze lingered on Saturn's rings, endless and fragile, yet unbroken through eons. His voice dropped, more to himself than the room. They do not know the species that endured its own storms. They will learn. The Galactic Council chamber dimmed as Varix resumed his seat. Reports streamed in from outlying sectors. Fleets assembled, dreadnoughts primed, weapon arrays aligned. Confidence soared among delegates. They will crumble before the first bombardment, Matron Zyresh declared. Their orbitals will fall, their fleets scatter, their colonies burn. The galaxy will see the futility of human defiance. Varix's gaze hardened. Prepare the broadcast. Let all worlds witness the extinction of arrogance. He did not realize how fragile his certainty was. Back aboard the Aegis, Cain moved among his officers, his presence anchoring them against the tide to come. Technicians monitored cloaked frigates slipping deeper into Saturn's shadow. Strategists tracked alien fleet vectors with chilling precision. AI cores whispered forecasts in hushed tones only Cain and his command could interpret. Reeves glanced at him again, quieter this time. You really believe we can end this so quickly? Cain's response came without hesitation. Belief is irrelevant. Preparation makes belief unnecessary. What we have built will speak for itself. Outside, the human fleet drifted in silence, not with fear but with coiled intent. Each vessel carried the weight of history, every scar of humanity's past wars distilled into purpose. They were not waiting to survive. They were waiting to prove. And when the alien armadas came, the proving would begin. The Sol system trembled under the approach of armadas. From Neptune's orbit to the edge of Jupiter's moons, space shimmered with alien dreadnoughts, cruisers, and strike wings, vessels older than human civilization itself. Their hulls gleamed with ancestral sigils, each ship a monument to centuries of conquest. To the Galactic Council, this war was not a battle but an execution. On Earth, billions huddled under defense broadcasts, faces pale in the glow of emergency networks. To them, the sky promised annihilation. Yet far beyond the planet's surface, hidden in the embrace of Saturn's shadow, humanity's fleet waited, silent, invisible, coiled like a spring. The broadcast of doom. The Council's feed spread across every inhabited sector of the galaxy. Alien commentators spoke with certainty. Within the hour, the humans will fall. Their shields will collapse, their fleets scatter, their colonies burn. This is the price of arrogance. High Chancellor Varix appeared at the center of the transmission, his scaled face filling every viewer's sight. Let all who watch know, defiance against the Council breeds extinction. Today, humanity will serve as the lesson. Command on the Aegis. On the bridge of the Aegis, Admiral Cain stood before a sea of consoles. Saturn's golden curve glowed faint through the view panels, rings cutting arcs across the dark. Officers moved in disciplined silence, eyes flicking between screens that displayed alien fleet trajectories. Commander Reeves leaned forward, voice low. Their spearhead enters Jupiter's orbit. 30 dreadnoughts, over 100 escorts, more trailing behind. We are outnumbered past any ratio that matters. Cain's gaze stayed fixed on the data stream. Ratios matter only to those who believe wars are mathematics. Dr. Anika Sorrell added from her console, probability curves confirm our models. Alien formations are rigid. They anticipate direct resistance. They do not expect disappearance. Cain gave the signal. Initiate Shadow Protocol. A ripple of command signals burst outward. Across the fleet, systems engaged in silent unison. Frigates, destroyers, carriers, all shimmered once, then bled from sight. Quantum stealth wrapped them in folds of manipulated space. On alien sensors, the human fleet ceased to exist. The first strike. Moments later, alien bombardments began. Jupiter's orbitals lit with fire, defense outposts torn apart in streaks of plasma. To observers across the galaxy, it appeared the humans were absent, their defenses brittle shells already collapsing. Then a flicker cut through the void. A Tharkul dreadnought, flagship of the Spearhead, shuddered as a lance of impossible light tore its core. A second vessel ruptured, its hull splitting open as if sliced by an unseen blade. Alien command channels erupted. Contact unknown. Enemy vectors unclear. Shields breached. From nowhere, human ships materialized in split-second bursts, fired, then dissolved again into invisibility. Their weapons, quantum lances, gravitic shear cannons, struck not with volume but with precision, cutting exactly where alien command nodes lay. Council shock. In the council chamber, chaos broke the chamber's practiced composure. Delegates leaned over consoles, voices sharp with disbelief. How are they masking entire fleets? No species conceals at this scale. This is impossible. High Chancellor Varix slammed a clawed fist into his dais. Trick. Mere tricks. Overwhelm them, crush their illusions. But the battle told another story. For every alien salvo that struck empty void, human counterstrikes ripped holes in formations. Ships vanished before they could even register who attacked. The human method. On the Aegis, the command deck glowed with fluid data streams. AI systems projected alien maneuvers seconds ahead, red paths curling across holographic displays. Cain's fleet moved as if reading the future. Target Dreadnought Delta 7, Cain ordered. 3-second burst. Then vanish. A group of destroyers shimmered into existence, fired gravitic torpedoes that bent through shields like glass, then disappeared before the aliens could respond. The dreadnought's hull crumpled inward, imploding in silence. Reeves whispered, "They can't even track us." Cain's reply was cold. "They don't understand that victory belongs not to numbers but to timing. Let them choke on their overconfidence." Alien panic. On alien bridges, captains shouted over alarms. Orders collided. Ships fired blind, striking allies as often as enemies. Formations dissolved into frantic swarms. The Zyresh matron shrieked in the council chamber. "This is slaughter. They carve through fleets unseen." Varix's voice roared, desperate to mask fear. "No. Press forward. Their tricks cannot hold against endless force." But endless force meant nothing against unseen knives. Entire carrier groups folded in minutes, their screens erupting into flame before they even aligned targeting arrays. The broadcast turns. The Council had broadcast the war to humiliate humanity. Now billions across the galaxy watched the humiliation of their masters. Feeds meant to display Earth's fall instead showed alien dreadnoughts shattering like toys. Civilians stared in disbelief. Soldiers on distant worlds murmured in awe. For the first time in centuries, the Council looked weak. On the edge of silence. Back on the Aegis, the command crew worked with surgical focus. No cheering, no celebration, only precision. Cain's presence anchored them, calm amid chaos. Dr. Sorrell updated softly. Projected timeline of alien collapse accelerating. 10 minutes until their command lattice fails. Cain nodded. Maintain rhythm. Do not reveal more than needed. Let them bleed until they beg. Reeves glanced sideways. We can end this before the hour? Cain's eyes hardened. Before the half. Council realization. In the chamber, silence grew heavy. Even the loudest skeptics no longer laughed. Delegates leaned back, pale under alien lights. Ships that had never known defeat crumbled on live transmission. The matron's mandibles clacked nervously. They fight as though they see the future. Varix hissed, though his voice shook. No. They fight like predators who know exactly where to strike. For the first time, fear traced his expression. Closing beat. On the Aegis, Cain stepped to the center of the deck, Saturn's golden light framing him through the viewport. His officers waited, breathless. He spoke with quiet finality. They thought us prey. They did not understand. Humanity does not fight to endure. Humanity fights to finish. The void outside answered with the silent implosion of another alien dreadnought, its fragments scattering like broken pride into the cold dark. And still the battle raged, but its outcome had already shifted beyond the Council's imagining. The battlefield no longer resembled war, it was disintegration. Where once the alien armadas had stretched like endless constellations, now burning wreckage drifted across black space. Firelight flickered on shattered hulls, ruptured engines, and fractured pride. On the flagship Aegis, Admiral Cain stood firm at the command deck center, his presence steady as the storm broke. Officers moved around him with mechanical precision, guided by AI projections predicting enemy collapse. Status, Cain asked without raising his voice. Dr. Anika Sorrell's eyes stayed on her console. Council spearhead destroyed. Remaining units fracturing. We estimate 12 minutes until full retreat, though many vessels already surrender. Commander Reeves leaned closer, disbelief etched across his features. 12 minutes, Admiral. 12. They swore we'd fall in hours. Cain's gaze swept the viewport, where Saturn's golden rings glowed through the shadows of drifting debris. His reply came quiet but sharp. Their mistake was counting hours. Wars aren't won by clocks, they're won by clarity. Alien collapsed. Across the void, alien formations broke into chaos. Once proud dreadnoughts reeled without command cohesion, captains firing wildly or fleeing. Some attempted to rally, but every attempt met the same end. Invisible lances tearing through cores before orders could ripple outward. The Tharkul fleet, cornerstone of the Council's might, shrank to half-strength within minutes. Carriers vented fire as human torpedoes carved them open. Cruisers buckled, their signals cut mid-command. On Council channels, voices screamed in disbelief. Shields failing. They strike from nowhere. We can't track them. How? Each cry ended in static. The Council watches. In the crystalline chamber, delegates sat paralyzed, watching their fleets shatter on live transmission. Holographic projections showed ship after ship blinking out, replaced by flame. The Zyresh matron clutched her mandibles tight, words tumbling out in panic. Centuries of strength undone in minutes. This cannot. High Chancellor Varix slammed his claws against the dais, his fury raw but hollow. Impossible. They are vermin. They cannot. Yet the chamber saw what his words denied. Whole sectors of the battle map went dark, human strikes cutting faster than alien sensors could register. The primitive species dismantled empires as if peeling layers from fruit. For the first time, silence replaced arrogance. Precision on the Aegis. Target lattice node Kappa, Cain ordered. Destroyers appeared for a heartbeat, fired gravitic charges into the node ship that directed a dozen alien squadrons, then vanished. The vessel ruptured in a silent bloom, its escorts spinning without orders, easy prey for cloaked frigates that followed. Sorrell reported, command lattice collapse confirmed. Alien fleet leadership dissolved. Cain gave a curt nod. Broadcast surrender option. Short transmission. No debate. Reeves hesitated. And if they refuse? Then Saturn becomes their grave, Cain said, voice colder than the void. The broadcast. Across the battlefield, human transmissions cut through static. Cain's face appeared, calm against the chaos behind him. You predicted hours, His voice carried, translated into every alien tongue. It took us minutes. Humanity does not bow. Stand down or be erased. The feed lasted only seconds. It needed nothing more. Council's breaking point. In the chamber, delegates sat in silence. The broadcast replayed on their walls, Cain's calm tone more devastating than any threat. Billions across the galaxy, watching through their feeds, now saw not a doomed species but a predator cloaked in patience. The Grath overlord muttered, voice low. We mocked the fire. But the fire learns to burn in silence. The matron hissed softly. If they can break us in minutes, what else have they hidden? Varix's fury faltered, his voice edged with something he had never known in his reign, fear. This is not an end. It cannot be. But he stopped. The images around him gave him no refuge. He had misjudged, and the galaxy saw it. Final movement. On the battlefield, surrenders cascaded. Alien ships vented codes of compliance, weapons powering down. Others fled in blind panic, abandoning formations to scatter into the void. Human vessels remained still, neither celebrating nor jeering. They struck only when required, precision guiding every engagement. The silence of discipline weighed heavier than any taunt. Admiral, Sorrel reported, alien command core dissolved. Remaining resistance negligible. Reeves leaned back, almost dazed. It's over. Minutes, and it's over. Cain studied the drifting wreckage, his expression unreadable. Not over. Changed. The Council confronted. Human transmission cut into the Council chamber directly, overriding their systems. Cain's image filled the crystalline hall. You sought to end us as a lesson, he said, tone even. Instead, you taught yourselves. Power is not arrogance. Strength is not domination. Humanity will endure, not as your subject but as your equal, or your end. Delegates could not answer. Billions of viewers saw the Council powerless in their own hall, silenced by the voice they had mocked. Cain's final words rang clear. Remember this day. Humanity fights wars in minutes, not hours. The feed cut. Aftermath. On the Aegis, silence held the bridge as reports of total alien retreat came in. The officers waited, expecting triumph, yet Cain gave none. His gaze stayed on Saturn's rings, endless arcs that had outlasted storms greater than any war. Reeves finally spoke, voice quiet. We've secured recognition. The Council cannot deny what the galaxy has seen. Cain turned slowly, his tone carrying both gravity and restraint. Recognition is only survival's shadow. What matters is that they never forget. They believed us fragile. They will now carry the memory of what fragility costs. Sorrel asked softly, and if they try again? Cain's answer was calm as always. Then minutes will become seconds. Closing image. The human fleet held position in perfect silence, Saturn's golden light shimmering across their hulls. They did not chase the fleeing, did not boast to the watching stars. They waited, steady and unshaken, a warning written across the void itself. Never again would the galaxy underestimate humanity.